to rock. I salute you.
Can you tell us a story or a memorable challenge you've had with the passenger?
Well, you know, some of the biggest challenges is when you're dealing with people who have drank too much. You know, you're worried that they're going to throw up in your car, or if they're going to become violent and belligerent, you know, and sometimes they're just sloppy drunks that just passed out in your car. So that reminds me of a story that was actually kind of funny. I went to this one brewery here in Chula Vista, in the east part of Chula Vista here, and I was hailed there, so I went there to go pick up somebody, and I pulled up to in front of the brewery, and I see these two guys. I open up my sliding door here, and I see two guys carrying one guy who was kind of slumped over. One guy had him by the shoulder underneath the armpit, and the one had the other side, and they're dragging him into my car, and I'm like, ho, hang on a minute. No, I don't think so. I'm not taking this guy. They're like, no, he's cool. He's already vomited a ton of times in here. It's like, we just want you to take him home. It's a short distance from here. It's less than 5 minutes from here. It's like, well, if he's already vomited, okay, fine, you know. So they got him into the car. They buckled him in, and I knew I was probably not going to get a tip or anything, because I can't even talk with the guy. I can't schmooze with him. I can't joke around with him. He's like, you know, he's called comatose. So we get to his location, and I stop the car, and I open the door, and I said, sir, we've arrived to your destination. And he doesn't reply. So I nudge him, and he goes, oh, yeah. I said, dude, we're here. He says, oh, okay, thanks. Can you help me get to the door? I was like, yeah, sure. I go, that's not part of my job description, but right on, I'll do it, you know. So I walk around the car over the passenger side, and I'm helping him get out of the door, and he's still kind of out of it, really doesn't know what's going on. And I'm walking him towards the door, got my hand around his waist and the other one underneath his arm. And I'm walking him to the front door stoop, and I have him sit down on the first steps right there in front of the door. So then I knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and that's when the guy starts to come to, right? He's like looking around. He goes, this is not my house. I go, no? He goes, no, this is my mom's house. Just as he said that, the door swings open, and it's his mother. And she goes, oh no, not again. She says, I told you to change the address on your driver's license. Every time this happens, they bring you right here. Well, apparently what happened, the rider didn't call for the ride. What happened is the guys at the bar, the security guys that were carrying him out to the car, they pulled out his phone, saw that he had an Uber app, hailed the car to the address that was on his ID that they had, right? And that's how he got there.
Advice do you have about new drivers for them to managing their time and resources?
You know, managing your time and resources for drivers, that's a good question, because when I first started, I was taking every ride that was coming to me, which was crazy. You know, that sucks up a lot of your time, a lot of your resources, driving around looking for a new location to pick up people at. And now that my time is part-time now, I have to make the most of my time. So I look at the times when it's the busiest. You know, I'm looking at the times when I know people are coming in for conventions, and there's easy ways you can do that. Whatever town you're in, just look up, maybe there's a city commerce department or whatever, and they might announce on the city's website the conventions that are coming into town, or you have a convention center, go to their websites. I look at when those conventions start, so I know when it's going to be the busiest. So I'm not just aimlessly driving around out there, because I'm limited on time, as I said. I only drive part-time, and I have to take care of my mother-in-law sometimes. So I always look for the prime time, and that's when I drive. I hate sitting and waiting. I mean, I'm learning from the master here, Ahmed, how to be patient, because I have a hard time being patient. I have ADD, so I'm not going to sit around. I'll be taking every dinky little ride if I just sit around. So I don't do that. I know me. I know what my challenges are. I know I can't just sit around when it's slow, because then I'll be tempted to take these cheap little crappy rides that Uber and Lyft send us. And you don't want to do that, please. If you're a driver out there, don't take cheap rides. Know your worth. You know, I don't take anything less than $5 when it's slow, you know, because at least I know I get some volume of people coming in and owning short rides. But generally, my minimum is $10, at least $1.50 a mile. That's my target right there.
what other advice do you have for new drivers?
You know, what I do nowadays, since I'm a cherry picker, I really don't care about my acceptance rate. I think my acceptance rate is like 32%, which to Uber and Lyft, that's not great, but you know what? They're still going to send me rides, right? So I might not make it to the pro bonuses such as Diamond and the rewards from that, but honestly, those rewards they offer, they're not worth cash, you know, they're just little crumbs that they feed to you. But what I tend to do is, since I don't care about the acceptance rate, even when I know I'm not going to be driving, I'll keep the app on and just to monitor what kind of offers come in, because it's a way to train your brain and your mind as to what kind of rides are available out there at certain times of the day. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. Just turn it on. You can see the pings that are coming in. You can see, oh, this is garbage. I wouldn't have taken that. Oh, that's garbage. Ooh, that would have been sweet if I would have been working. That's a $120 ride all the way to LA. Yeah, all day long. I would love to take that. You know, and you're just playing the simulation game, right? But you can't play the simulation game unless you have these pings coming in, right? And guess what? Since you really don't get penalized, not in a way that really hurts your cash, right? Your acceptance rate. In fact, I don't know. There's a... Where do I start at now?
Just keep going.
So anyways, you know, I don't care about my acceptance rate. You know, there's this conversation right now in the rideshare industry. Does acceptance rates really count for anything? You know, I know these companies would like you to think that they're having a high acceptance rate is important, and they even entice you with these little spiffs and little crumbs and little stipends, like, you know, hey, you'll get 10% off at the Valvoline oil change if you're an Uber Pro Diamond driver. Well, guess what? You go to any Valvoline, just tell them you're an Uber Pro Diamond driver. They don't even check your qualifications if you are or not. They're still going to give you whatever discount is the promo for Uber drivers at the time. So don't believe that nonsense. So I'll generally just have the app running, pinging me, and it trains me to know what kind of rides are coming in. And then I pay attention. How long did it take before that $50 ride came in? How many $5, $3 rides did I decline before this $100 ride came in? It does teach you a little bit about patience.
So basically, you're studying the algorithm and the patterns.
Yeah,
and you're in a city where there's rides all around you. You're right by the airport. You're right by downtown. You're right by the border.
That's right.
So you basically learned like that, and then you apply it when you're out driving. You know when the market is hot. You know when it's cold.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, like, since I know what kind of offers are coming in, whether it's hot or cold, the other thing I'm learning is not only that area that you're in, but how long does it take before a good offer comes in. I know something that Ahmed teaches about the algorithm, right? The algo does something. You got to break the algo. Well, how do you do that? You know, you need to train the algo. At least that's what Uber says. You know, it says, hey, our algo responds to your driving style. You know, so if you're always accepting these little $4 rides, $3 rides, well, they have no reason to send you a $15 ride, a $25 ride, a $50 ride, right? Because you keep accepting these cheap stuff. You know, Uber's not doing this directly to you. It's the algo that's doing that. So what you got to do is you got to break the algo. You got to train the algo to teach them what you will accept. I remember one time after watching one of Ahmed's videos about training the algo, I thought, well, okay, I'm going to go try it. I'm going to do some experimenting. I'm not going to accept shit. So anything that's less than $5, I'm going to decline automatically. And so I started, I actually got logged off of Uber. You know, after so many declines, Uber will log you off, then you have to log back in. I mean, I think Uber logged me off like 3 times, and then I logged back in, and then boom, I got a $15 ride. So yeah, that was like maybe 20 rides that I declined in a 30-minute time span, and then, you know, I got a $15 ride once. The next time I got like a $60 ride, you know, and if you get enough of those in your pocket, boy, you know, you're making more than $35 an hour.
So you actually watch those videos and study them and understand them. Because I thought people just, you know, some people watch them, some people don't. So you're telling me stuff that I've been putting in, like I made 200 videos. And I threw that somewhere in a video. So that's actually kind of cool for me to know that people who are serious about treating Uber as a business, they're watching the videos, and if not in every video, because I'm a little redundant, but there's enough information in there that it's adding to what you already know. Yeah. Then you tell me, then we teach the drivers in our WhatsApp group, then I learn stuff, then I put it back on the YouTube. So it's almost like a cycle where we're creating a manual and a course for Uber without Uber. Now this way Uber can't take advantage of the new drivers anymore.
Yeah.
We're taking that away from them because new drivers can learn less than a month.
Absolutely. You know, the secret to dealing with Uber and Lyft and being profitable is not falling for their schemes. So forget about their little promos, forget about chasing after the surges. You know, what's smarter for you to do is, even if you're off duty and not working that night or whatever, keep your app on, be watching where the surges are happening, at what time they happen, how much they're offering for the surges. Be aware, even though you're not driving that day, have the app on, be aware, see where it happens, take note. Oh, there's a surge, it happens in National City at Plaza Bonita at 4:30 p.m. Okay, probably people getting off of work at the mall, right? So pay attention to that. Oh, it's happening at the amphitheater, you know, the North Island Amphitheater down in South Bay. Oh, there's probably a concert. Pay attention to that. What time do the surge happens? How much do they offer? Oh, downtown, probably all these people need rides home, you know, after going out to the nightclub or the bar or to dinner. It doesn't matter if they're going out to the baseball game to see the Padres. Look at what areas of town it's surging. You know, pay attention to those things, what time it is and how much it is. That way, you're not chasing the surge. Because if you're smart enough and you've taken enough notes and you know where it's happening and at what time and on what days, you be there before the surge starts. And then, boom, you're guaranteed to get it instead of chasing the surge and then having it disappear on you.
Very good point. Remember to check out the past 2 episodes linked above in the info card. Are you a rideshare driver? Would you like to be interviewed by me? Do you have tips, tricks, and hacks that will benefit the rideshare community? My email address is right here. Give me an email. Let's help the other drivers. That's it. And check out this next video that I have linked for you. I also have the playlist linked for you. Enjoy. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.